want to share with you today some of the mistakes that we made along the way um, when we actually before we started Dave Ramsey, and then when when we started Dave Ramsey. So here's the number one mistake, right? That obviously a lot of people make, and one of the first mistake, and I have to write it down so I can remember what to tell you. I have about 8 of them, but the number one is not having a plan, not budgeting, not telling your money where to go. That's the number one mistake that we made for years. We did not know how to budget, and so we didn't know how to plan. So you need to make a plan, have it written down, sit down and write down your budget. So that's the number one mistake that we made. So hopefully, with the video, I already have a video, and I'm gonna post a link above so you can go and watch the video how to budget. The second mistake that we made, well, actually, second mistake that we made was only one person when we started budgeting before Dave Ramsey. Actually, when we were using credit cards, was only one person was involved in the budgeting or planning or dealing with the money. So I will. At the beginning was my husband dealing with the money, and I didn't want to deal with that. It was too stressful for me. I didn't want to think about it, so I pretending that we were fine, and then I will go spend the money, and then he'll find out later, and I forgot to mention to him or tell him that I had to buy certain things or whatever it is that I bought. I forgot, and then we'll get in an argument. So the majority of the arguments in marriage is about money, and trust me, we have plenty of them at the beginning. Um, you know, we did not manage our money. We didn't have a plan, and let him deal with it, and I didn't want to deal with it. And then later on, we decided, let me deal with it. So I dealt with the money, and then he did the same thing. So I was the only one dealing with the money. So it did not work. Both of you, if you're married or you're living together, you need to have both of you need to sit down, write the budget together, and make a plan. Both of you have to be invested. Both of you, this is a partnership. You're gonna have to do it. Even if I'm I'm the one that loves to write things down and put the budget down, and my husband doesn't want to write down, but he has a spreadsheet. So we match the spreadsheet in my budgeting in my notebook. We match it, make sure that it's fine, that it matches his, it matches mine, so we know where the money is going. So it worked for us. We both are involved. You both have to be invested in this to be able to work. The third mistake we made was not being consistent when we started. Again, we were using credit cards. We tried before Dave Ramsey. I'm telling you, this is before Dave Ramsey. We were trying to budget, but then we'll do it the first month, or we started at the beginning, then we didn't finish it. We kind of give up before the end of the month, and then the next month we won't do it, and it doesn't work. You need to be consistent, both of you. You need to be, don't give up. You have to be consistent. Stay on it. The fourth mistake that we made was not creating a budget before we got paid. So we will get paid, and then, like, oh yeah, we need to create a budget. So we sat down, and things already been paid. And so it doesn't work like that. You need to give it a name before you get paid, before the end of the month, or you get paid twice a month, right? So way before you get paid. So 3 to 5 days before, sit down, make a plan, put it in your calendar that you're both gonna sit down before you go to bed. You're going to write it down, and you're gonna put your budget together before the end of the month, before a few days before you get paid. The fifth mistake that we made was not involving cash. Once we start paying our credit cards off, and not well, before we start paying our credit cards off, we decided, okay, we're not going to use credit cards. We're going to just use a debit card. And so we didn't involve cash at all. So we will use the debit card to make purchases like cash, and we don't have it in the bank, then we cannot use it. So, but the thing is that when you make purchases with a debit card, it's just like you have the same numbing sensation as a credit card. You just use it and you don't have any feeling with it. When you're using cash, it's harder to let go of that cash because it's in front of you. So it's easier to swipe the card and to spend that $20 or that $100 than when you have to give $100 away. And like, no, I prefer to keep it unless you have to, and then it's painful. Um, so you involve, use a involve include cash, uh, groceries pay in cash, gas pay in cash, birthdays. So I'm going to mention, I'm going to create a video on the envelopes that we have, and I was also, like, again, I mentioned we have a video on how we budget, and you can watch the video. Um, the the next mistake, which I believe is number six, um, when we start the envelope system, when we start involving cash, we started an envelope system. I'm going to make a video on envelope system. It was that we started borrowing from other categories, from other envelopes, because we didn't plan it. We didn't plan well. So, somebody's birthday, and we didn't have enough money for that birthday, or maybe for gas, and then we borrow from this category and from this category, and we start moving money around. It doesn't work like that. You need to plan ahead. You should not borrow from other categories. Once we're done with that category, we have to wait till the next month, right? Or come with make a better plan for next month. So, again, we weren't perfect at the beginning. This is showing you some of the mistakes we made. So, just to give you a heads up, and hopefully you can avoid some of those mistakes that we made. Um, Another one is, I believe it's number seven. Yeah, number seven is not having realistic amount or number when we did our budget. So we will put like 700 for groceries for the month. That was too much for us at the time. So we had too much on that and too little on for gas, and or the other way. So too little for groceries, and we had to borrow from other categories. So again, we don't borrow from other categories. You have to have realistic, sit down, have a realistic amount for your food and dining out and gas and stuff like that for your budget, right? And number eight, right? Or this is which is my one of the last ones that I can think of, was not planning ahead for large purchases or repairs. For example, car repairs, oil change, car inspection. You have to plan ahead for this kind of stuff, and we learn it was a process for us. We had to learn, and like, oh yeah, we forgot to even put that in the budget. Like, and here we have to pay the car taxes is another one. Another one that we forgot at the beginning was birthdays. Guess what? Every month or every other 2 months is somebody's birthday, and or Christmas. Guess what? It's gonna happen every year. So that caused a lot of, created a lot of problems. We argue a lot about money because stuff like that, especially around Christmas. Christmas came along, we weren't prepared. It surprised us every year for some reason. We forgot it happens, and it happens every year. So, um, plan ahead for that kind of stuff. So hopefully this video helps you, um, by us sharing the mistake that we made. Uh, it will help you avoiding some of the mistakes, and you can see that don't beat yourself if it's not perfect the first time or the second time. You're going to have to tweak things here and there. It wasn't perfect for us, and and every month it's going to be a little bit different. So if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, um, subscribe to my channel, and share this video with your family and friends, and Facebook, and with in Twitter and Instagram. And I'll see you in the next video. Adios.